lot can happen in 5 years. But it wasn't always like this.
I made a vow to never put my child through daycare. I know there's got to be a way.
If you want something bad enough, you have to go after it. Ryan?
I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Hannah.
And we're the Unstoppable Family. Just can't stop it! Dun, 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 dun.
Dad is even funnier than you.
He's a pretty funny cat. Dog. Cat dog.
Who would expect a girl that grew up in Michigan and a guy that grew up in Illinois would meet surfing in San Diego and then be together ever since? Welcome to Puerto de la Cruz from the Canary Islands.
Machu Picchu on 4th of July.
Cusco, Peru.
Rio de Janeiro.
Morocco! And I got my Moroccan beard. Barcelona! Driving through Utah. Florida. Lake Tahoe.
Here we are in the wilderness. This is literally our front yard. Not too shabby of a view.
Looks like where I'm gonna call my home break, at least till the end of the year. Adios, amigos!
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Hanalei.
I love you.
Reflections of 39 years on this beautiful planet. Yes, it's my birthday. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy New Year!
I haven't skied since I've been 12.
When you know you have an expiration date on your life, you know, what kind of decisions are you gonna make?
With Swano with his new haircut, he doesn't look like a dirty hippie anymore. And don't forget what independence means. It means freedom. Go out and do something wild and crazy. So from the Unstoppable family,
It's good. Life is good. Go out, be unstoppable, learn Spanish, get a map, and remember your board shorts. From rock bottom financially and emotionally,
to traveling the world and giving our daughter education of a lifetime.
still, I feel that our journey has just begun. Wait till you see what's next.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Wild Wednesday Mastermind. I am Rhonda Swan, and today I'm actually here by myself doing the mastermind. I had some things that I wanted to share, and I just wanted to welcome everyone that's here. And if you are just now coming in, I just shared a video of our family's journey. Actually, that video was taken, we've been traveling now for 16 years. So it was 5 years after we started to travel. And I wanted to share that with everyone for a reason. So if you hadn't watched it, go back from this video here if you're live and watch that video, because it's a really pertinent topic for what we're talking about today, or it's a really great example for what we're talking about today. So for those of you that are here, please share this, because I'm going to be talking about some really important things today on not only how to build a resilient brand, but to build a brand that is loved, that is authentic, that is something that someone and others, your clients, your customers want to talk about. And it's something that will withstand the test of time. And so I've been building brands and working with brands for over 18 years. We have a branding firm, for those of you guys that don't know fully what we do. We own a PR and branding firm, Unstoppable Branding Agency. However, today's topic and the reason why I've been able to move into the brand space and the work that I've done and dedicated my life to over the last 18 years is based on what actually took effect and what happened to my family back in '08 and '09. I'm going to give you kind of a background because if you really start to feel into what not only took place in our story, but what could potentially be relation to maybe what you've gone through or what you're going through. But more importantly, it's what happened in the development of how we started to build and assist and help build brands around the world. In fact, literally over the last 18 years, I think we've launched over 2,000 plus new brands, products, services. We worked with coaches, consultants, now entrepreneurs, startups, CEOs that are looking to really build a personal brand in front of their company. And so I definitely can say I have a lot of experience in that. But the reason why I want to share this today is because there's a very big shift happening right now in the world, right? We went from, being very digital minded, right? We're still very digital, yet there's a lot of shifts that's happening in marketing. Like we went from being very more like product focused, more marketing message focused into more of an authentic way of not only growing your business, your brand, but sharing your message. And so a lot of this development, we've been working with core values and core brand development, strategic client, let's say, selection for a very long time. And that's what I'm going to talk about today is how can we go into this new era? It's more of a new earth paradigm. The way that we're building businesses, the way that we're growing brands, and the way that we're sharing our message. It has changed quite a bit, yet the core fundamentals are sound. And that's what I want to share tonight is about the core fundamentals of not only building a brand that people love and they want to be part of, but how you actually do it. And I watch the market often, right? And I always say that when the market is zigging, I like to zag. However, the core of what we do has never changed. So if you didn't watch the video that I just shared, in 2008, 2009, I had left corporate 3 years before this. I was a corporate executive for, one of the largest, sadly to say, pharmaceutical companies in the world, a Fortune 100 company. And I was literally managing billions of dollars in marketing campaigns and helping develop storylines and marketing campaigns for this company. Surely the reason why I quit was for a very big reason, right? Which was I recognized that the values that the company I was working with were not aligned with my own. So let's start taking little notes. I'll do this little hands up, right? To take notes, because that's the first one. The values of the company I was working for was not aligned with my own personal values. So this conversation isn't about just you if you're an entrepreneur, but it's also about you as a human. What are your values, right? So that was the first thing. And I recognized that company wasn't aligned with my values. In fact, the biggest kicker for me was the day I witnessed a woman putting a 6-week-old baby into daycare. Hey, buddy, good to see you, Mike. 6-week-old baby in daycare. And my boss threw her on the cross. Literally, she made her so wrong for being late to this meeting and said, if you ever want to put food on your, this plate of your baby, if you want to, keep this job, you're going to be on time. And here I was, right? I'm sitting here and I'm watching this and I'm experiencing this woman who I thought I wanted to be like, who I thought I wanted to be, really putting down this woman and breaking the values down that I had. And I'm sitting here watching her. Her name was Jane. And she was that, perfect woman. If you ever heard me talk about this story before, her, her bangs, her perfect bobbed hair, her shoes matched her bag. Her lips were so puckered and tight that, she couldn't really get anything through them. And she was one of those people. And here I am, right? Imagine yourself, right? Maybe you have a new child or you have a family. And I sat there like, Rhonda, is this who you're going to be for women? Right. I'm very pro women empowerment. I was, I got my master's degree. I was fighting forward to really, truly do and make a difference in people's lives in my job that I thought, right. So I was powering through. I got a high level position as a woman, something that we've been battling for many, many years. So I was like very pro women. And sure enough, this lady starts quivering and she's like, I'm sorry, it was my 6-week-old baby's first day at daycare. And it's been really hard for me today. And I'm sorry I'm late. And my boss was just terrible. So I had a shift that day, right? I made a really alignment shift. And it was a value alignment shift in my own job, right? So I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this. This company is not aligned with what I want. I don't want to put a baby in daycare. I want to be a woman that represents women. I want to support women. So I literally had a very tight value alignment shift. I went home, told Brian, hey, I am quitting my job because I don't want to put a baby in daycare. I want to build a business. I want to do something great. I want to do something bigger. First off, he thought I was crazy. So I don't know how many of you guys have started as an entrepreneur, started new businesses, maybe even new jobs, and your family's like, are you nuts? Either taking a pay cut, you're shifting up major, activity or values that you've got in your family. And I said, look, your fear of me having a business is not greater than my desire and my belief to never put a baby in daycare, the vow that I want to make to my unborn child. And so that alone, right? My values were aligned. Brian's fears were not in alignment with mine. So I took this very strong stand. And if any of you are feeling this, anytime I say something that you've experienced or you feel, please share it in the comments because it helps so many more people. And again, please share this, guys, because I'm talking about some really big things today on not only value alignment, but how to really build your brand in a way that's going to last forever. And it's going to overturn any of the stuff that's going on in the world right now. And so here's Brian like, you're nuts. And I said, nope, I'm not crazy. I'm focused, right? My value and my alignment was so strong. And so we started building our company. I actually found a really awesome network marketing company that taught me a lot other than what I had already learned in my master's degree in branding and marketing. But I took a lot of that information that I had learned into, becoming an entrepreneur. And so what happened again, remember, this is in 2004. This is before social media. So we were starting to build our brand. I realized the importance of building a brand. And let me explain to you why I got into this field and understand it so deeply. Because what I did in corporate as, working for a Fortune 100 company, we were in pharmaceuticals. So in the beginning, I was a sales rep, right? And we had to be different to bypass the gatekeeper, they called it, right? If you ever, understand this industry, there's a gatekeeper and usually it's a secretary or it's, the front desk person to speak to these doctors. And so what I did when I was in my corporate job that I took into my entrepreneurial endeavor and what I teach every day was, how do I get through? Right? That's what we all want anyways, isn't it? Especially in building our businesses and marketing, right? There's a sea of people that are just doing the same thing as we are, and they're trying to get through just like we do, right? Our message. And so I was also a field rep that had thousands of field reps. I mean, if you knew this industry at all, we were all knocking on the door trying to get them to sell and offer our product. And so what I did is I became extremely unique as that sales rep for that big pharmaceutical company. And I became my own brand. I became Rhonda, right? The sales rep that was my own brand, right? And it was my Help Me Rhonda. It's like, here comes Help Me Rhonda. Let me help you change your, help heal your clients, heal your patients, right? I had this funny little thing that I did. And every time I came in, every holiday, like I had a turkey because it's Thanksgiving coming up. I wore a turkey hat. Then I would during the golf tournaments, I would dress up like a golfer. Like I did such ridiculous things to get my brand, or me as the brand, my personal brand in my job, to be seen. So what I did is when I quit my corporate and started our company, I realized in order for me and us to break through, to get others to understand who we were, it was to do something really very unique. And in 2008 and 2009, we had built our company for 3 years. We did quite well. And that was more about us being unique and just, kind of giving people more value. And we then invested in a lot of real estate. And many of you may know the story or may not, but we lost everything. In 2008 and 2009, my daughter, Hanalei, was born in 2007. We had my whole dream it was that I would never put her in daycare. And we did that. We thought we were living the dream. We had bought a number of different properties. We invested in a bunch of properties so that I could be more home with her. And sure enough, we gave a lot of money away to a guy that took it and ran. And so here we found ourselves, this, my husband's a corporate executive, or he was a robotics engineer. I retired Brian within the first year of me starting my business, and he came on and became my partner. And here we are crushing it, right? However, we invested and we found out about 60 days before my daughter was born that we were being frauded, that this guy literally took all the money and ran. We had 26 houses in our name, and that project was going down, and we were going down with it because the Swan name is the one that signed the documents over to this developer. So here, these are real things that could be also happening to a lot of people right now. And we had to sign everything away. We lost it all. We were stressed to the maximum. And one thing that we had was we had our vision, we had our values, and we had a vow to never put our daughter in daycare. And we had a business, right? And so back in 08, 09, there was no YouTube. A lot of you guys are watching this on YouTube. Many of you are watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, right? You're watching this on this platform. So we didn't have any of that. But what we did is we had our story. And so what we ended up doing is we filed bankruptcy, we sold everything. And in 2008, we left with a vision and a vow to never put my daughter in daycare. She had been born in 07. She was 33 days early because I was so stressed. And so, but what we did is we took our vow to never, ever put ourselves in that position again. And we started over, and we literally left with $12,872.62 to our name with a vision and a vow. That might sound like a lot. That might sound like a little. To us at that time, because of the way we were living, it was a very small amount. But one thing we knew, that we had each other. And so when we left, we bought a one-way ticket to Hawaii because that's where my daughter, her name is after, Hanalei. That's where we got married. And we lived in a little tiny, small little shack. We're eating little rice bowls and, literally, but we took who we were and our essence, and we're so grateful for what we had. Right? Which is a really great theme because it is, in the USA, we call it Grateful Day in our family. We don't use Thanksgiving because our family, I have American, Indian, Cherokee bloodline. So I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because there's a whole reason. I did a post about it. You can read. But let me just get to the story and why today's topic is going to be so vital based on this story and how you can build a brand that is so purely authentic, that is so loved, and it will be resilient throughout the test of time, through any economic downturns, for any financial downturns, because of the way you start to structure. And so what we did, back to the story, is we had only our story, only who we were and the values of who we were in order to market ourselves. We didn't have any marketing dollars, remember? We also didn't have social media. So how in the heck are you going to do this when now we're traveling around the world? We're literally, at this point, we were just in Hawaii, and we literally had our last about $7,000 to our name with a new baby. No support. Credit cards are gone because when you file bankruptcy, everything's gone. So we were at square zero. But the one thing that we started to do, and what I realized and what I took from my corporate position, which is being unique and standing out, was that we actually just started to be truly authentic and told our story. And there is a shift right now happening in the marketplace, and especially in what our audience is asking for. Hey, Emery, good to see you. What our audience is actually asking from us, and it's our purest authenticity. So we started sharing our story and talking to people about what we were all about. Now, remember, YouTube just came out when we left. Facebook hadn't been started yet. And what I was doing is I was literally shooting videos and I was putting them on a website, right? I was literally putting them on a website and running Google ads, like literally 2-cent Google ads to get more attention. And then, of course, boom, what happens? YouTube comes out, and then Facebook. And it's like, oh my gosh, hallelujah. Now we actually can build an audience, right? We can actually talk to people or put videos up and speak to people. And so we went from not just selling, but to living. Okay. That's another one of those little notes that I want you to take, because if you're living your brand and you're not selling your brand, you become very differentiated. Why? Because your story is yours. Who you are is yours. And so what happened is that people that were watching us and were talking about what took place, but what we were doing to continue literally living the life that we wanted and building a business was a few things that people were looking for. And we knew because we wanted freedom, right? We wanted freedom away from the life that we were living. And because we had lost everything, we found ourselves in that matrix and we knew there needed to be a shift. So what's happening right now in the marketplace is that people are going from clicking and buying because in marketing terms, right, we see, more frequency. We know right now most people need to see things that used to be 9, then about 5 years ago it went up to 19 touches, and now it's up to 26 touches, meaning they see a video of you, they see an ad from you, they see your content. Like, they literally need to be constantly reminded of what you have to offer. And chances are other people are doing the same type of offering that you might be. So they're doing the same thing. And now it's being diluted from not only 26 times from even considering working with you, but now it's compounding itself. So what can you do with your brand to not have to deal with this compoundingness, right? This constant amount of flow of content. And it is one major thing, and it's value alignment. Value alignment is probably one of the biggest ways that you can not only build your brand, connect with your audience, but also showcase your uniqueness. So let me go through a couple things. So if you go from selling, like our company, in fact, our company, Unstoppable Branding Agency, has gone from doing things very, very differently. In fact, recently we have let go over 70% of our client base. Now, most would go, oh my gosh, you must be, rolling in the dough to be able to do that. In fact, we had these, and these were not clients that were like horrible to deal with, right? They were paying on time. But what happened is they were not value aligned. So our company was helping them build their brand, helping them get big PR and media, but it wasn't aligned with our values. And it wasn't that the founder wasn't living their values. Are you getting this? That if we take this shift in the marketplace from selling to living our brand, that means everything that you embody is what you offer. Let me say that again. Everything that you live every day and that you embody is actually what you offer. Now, some people might get confronted because this could make you go, my gosh, I'm just selling a product. And that's something that we started to recognize. Some of the clients that we were working with, they were great. They paid on time, but they were just selling the product. They weren't living it. And when you start to feel this alignment and understand that if someone that you're working with isn't aligned with you and your values, what are you doing? You're literally selling out just for money. So the way now, and I love this, Anne-Marie is so cute, is they were being like Pinocchio, right? They were not being authentic. They were you say the right things. And this is the difference. I want everyone to get through this, right? Is you can say all the right things. You can sell, your marketing message can be amazing. But because we as beings, right, we are frequency, we are energy. People will feel through your lack of integrity. They know if you're value aligned. Let me give you a couple examples. We're not going to take medical advice, right, from a doctor that isn't healthy. One of our clients actually recently said to me, he went into his doctor. That's a good one. He went into his doctor and he literally said, I'm not going to take any advice from you about my health because you're overweight. Can you please go get me a doctor that can show me that he can help me with my health? Get that one. How many times have we ever gone in literally to a doctor and the doctor's not healthy? I'm not going to take medical advice from someone that isn't healthy. I'm not going to take financial advice from someone that hasn't or isn't living the level of financial success that I want to have. I'm not going to take advice on someone on how to build a business if they've never done it. Right? So it's the exact same thing when we are value aligned in the way that we're building our brand and the message that we're sharing. If we are not true to who we are, then we now are selling and we're not living. right? So there's a big shift between selling and living. So this is the new way, this like the new earth, if you will, way of developing and building brands. And what our company, branding and PR firm, has done, and why we had to take a massive, not only client cut, but a massive pay, like, right? These guys are paying every month. Cut out the, I guess just cut it out. I don't want to even, I was use a derogatory word, but it's literally let go of the money that was low vibrational. That's where the more I was going to say. It's like literally more lack of vibrational energy. Hey, Steven, good to see you, buddy. And now more into alignment vibration. Okay, so that's the difference between selling and living your brand. Now let's kind of go into some details, because I've kind of like painted the picture for you a little bit more. So we know now we're not going to take health advice from someone that's not healthy. So what is it that you're doing right now? Are you living your brand, right? Are you living your product? Are you living your service? Our family, Unstoppable Family, when we started traveling, we were living it. Our values were family, freedom, travel, truth. So we were living, traveling around the world, helping people build their brands online. And it was perfect, because this is even before people were even on, we had just had Skype, we had voice over IP, like there's no way to communicate on Zoom or like this or streaming. And I had clients easily saying, no problem, Rhonda, we'll join you on this weird thing called, Skype, and learn about how to build your brand. And it was because we were living it. So look at that, right? We're helping people build their brand online, and we're living it. We're traveling around the world. We're building everything virtual without a lot of social media, but ways that were possible. So I want you to ask yourself now, right? This is like, we're going to start having this like little note sessions. Am I living or am I selling? And the second is, am I value aligned with what I'm offering? Am I aligned with my offer? Are my values shining through my brand? So there's a couple of things that we want to look at, because we have to remember, people buy from people. Okay. They buy from you. And there's a reason why I showed the video that I showed in the beginning of our family, is because, there you go. I love that. Is that we are the brand. We were the brand. So right now, more than ever, owning and having a personal brand that is value aligned, that your stories aligned, especially if you're the founder. Like I work with a lot of startups, and we do a lot of PR media for our startup companies. And a lot of times the founders, they kind of want to hide. They want to let the company speak for itself. And I'm like, no, you can't do that, right? Because you need your values. You're the founder. You're the creator. You have to be aligned with the company and the company's values, and people need to know that. That's why people like Gary Vee, right, blew up. Gary Vee is the brand. It doesn't matter what Gary Vee offers, does it? We're going to buy it if you're aligned with Gary Vee's message and you're aligned with Gary Vee's values. Just like Unstoppable Family, people would have bought anything from us. They were so aligned with our story. They were aligned with our values, and they were aligned with who we were, and we were living the brand. We had to cut off 70% of clients that were not living the brand. They were selling the brand. Okay. So now let's move into reminding ourselves that people are going to buy from people. They want to buy from aligned values, and they want to buy from alignment brand. You will stand out if you are living it. You will be chosen if you make people feel your authenticity and your reality. That video we showed was a feeling video. Right? You're listening to me. I am in front. I'm not just giving you marketing messages. I'm literally sharing with you how we've done it, how we build brands. But more importantly, you understand, you can feel me right now, right? So if we now move in from our value alignment, now let's go into some really strategic and practical ways to start building your brand, structuring it, and to understand it used to be the way you looked, right? The logo, the colors. Literally, I always tell people, I could literally care less what your logo and your colors are. I used to go so deep into color coordination and psychology of color. And now I'm like, doesn't matter. You could literally have an X next to your name. Or I guess if you think about what Elon Musk did, he just completely changed. He changed Twitter. And I have definitely some opinions on that. And it seems as if he might have blew his cover or blew the brand. But in reality, I'm going to ask you this. What do you think Elon Musk did when he changed from the Twitter branding to the X branding? If anyone knows it, feel free to share it. He dropped those that were not value aligned. Twitter was not value aligning anymore. He dropped those that were not value aligned. So he brought it back to the core. And it doesn't even matter what the branding is. The core are still there. The core is still following, right? That's exactly what we've recently had to do with our company. We shrunk it down. We had to shred a lot. Let me tell you, it's not as easy to do that, because when you grow and you start to scale, and I'm using this lesson today with a lot of story, because I always like to share with everyone like what I've done to help you not do what we've done, or maybe not go through the things that we've done. And we, in 2002, 2001 and 2002, our company had massive scaling. We literally 10x'd overnight for good reason, right? COVID hits. Most people are not online. They have no presence online. And so they're like, please help us get our brand online. Give me some PR. I need some media. I need third-party validation, which is all great stuff, right? So our company blew up. But what happened is we blew up, but what started to take place is we were taking clients that were not value aligned with our company and with our values, the founders, myself, Brian, and Hanale, and my team. So there were clients that we were doing work for that were not living their brand. They were selling it. And their stories, we're getting their stories out there. And in reality, they weren't there to truly change someone's life with their product or with their work. And what happened? We took on different partners because we blew up. We took on so many different employees. There was a time where I didn't even know half of my employees' names. I had never met them. They're doing so many different things. And so this last year has been a very challenging year, because we had to go from this expansion to complete shredding, but going back to the core value. Are you guys getting this one? Because this is why someone like Gary Vee, Richard Branson, right? They're all in front of their companies, because their values are connected to their brand. So just like Elon Musk, the things that he does, it's connected to his brand. What you are in front, how you're living every day is fully connected to the branding. So let's talk about now, how do we go from how do we find what our core values are? And some people say this, they're like, I don't even know, I have a product that's great. I want to help everyone. First off, that's the number one killer of any business, is to say that we can serve everyone, right? That's like saying, Baskin Robbins, like they got 31 flavors, I think, right? That serves everyone. No, it doesn't. Or it's like saying that you can, if you're a surgeon, like you can take care of everyone. You can't. You need to be a specialist, right? So let's go through what your core values are. And there's a couple ways that we look at it. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I value? You personally, what are your internal values that also have to be aligned with your company values? Many entrepreneurs have personal values, but their company values are completely different and they're not aligned. So they live a day-to-day life of selling and offering things, but they go home and they say that they're a completely different person, or they live a different life. So we have to ask ourselves. So for instance, let me just give you an idea. Unstoppable Family was travel, right? Family, freedom, travel, and trust. That was the four things that we lived on. And people knew they could count on us for all of those things. So let's look at some of the other brands, right? Like, start thinking to yourself, like, what are my core values? Because these core values, the moment you know what your brand's core values are, everything will be connected. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that, right? So let's look at integrity, right? Like Patagonia. They have integrity with their their line of who actually, their trade line, right? Like who makes their products. They make sure that their products have they know is it ethical, right? So they're known for being an integral based company because their founders are integral based. They show everyone, these are the type of people, this is the workplace, this is who makes your products, right? Quality. If you're a value of quality, let's use an example like Rolex. Rolex just you're going to get a quality product that's going to last forever. So you have to start thinking of like, what are my values that I want my company or my product or my service to connect with? Because the name of your company, the way it looks, that's just window dressing. They got to come inside of your brand, whether it's a sales funnel, a website, or talking to you or watching you in your content on social media and go, yes, I am so deeply aligned with this person. And remember, people buy from people. It doesn't necessarily always matter what the heck you're offering or selling. If they're aligned with you, they're going to go, what is the solution, right? So so value alignment is the very first. What you have to know what your values are now and your core values. And then there's a way that we help our clients build on what they're known for, their tagline is known for, so that at a glance, if they don't just consume your content for so long or they don't fully know you, at a glance, they're like, that's exactly what I want, right? And that is how you build upon what your tagline is or the way that it's being presented. And that is what you do. Okay, so this is the formula, what you do and the desired outcome of that client, one person. So you want to think about who's the one person that I can actually support, that I can actually solve their problem, I can help them, I can create the result or the promise that my brand has. So like think about right now, what is your promise that you've got, right? Is it like for us, let me give you an example. We create sexy brands, right? Our whole core is a sexy brand, and we turn them into profit-making machines. That's our desired outcome of our client. Clients that we work with, I know exactly who that person is. It's not everyone. See, that's the biggest failure, is that people think, I can support everyone. But then in reality, you end up supporting no one because you're not unique enough and you're not identified enough. Right? So for our company, we're a branding and PR firm, but we focus solely on PR, sexy brands. We turn them into profit-making machines, and we do that through PR and media. There's a lot of other branding out there. They might do logos, they might do color, they might do, all that. I focus on one very unique thing because I know the client that I can support and serve. So who is that one person? Just one. You have to know everything about them. Like, where do they read? How old are they? What do they think about? What are the things that are important to them? Because if you can understand what is that main problem or need that someone might have, you then can speak into that existence because you're living your brand, right? You're not selling it. You're also talking about the values that are aligned with you. So it's always about looking at yourself. Like, how am I? What are my values that I want to build? And what do I have? Because like, for instance, I know you, Anne-Marie, right? Anne-Marie is about frequency. She's about connecting to the universal energy, right? And about not living in the matrix. So that means Anne-Marie is not going to take someone that his mind isn't conscious enough to live in this new earth paradigm. So the things that she offers or talks about, someone that's watching is going to be aligned with that message. See, you've got to have not only values of your brand, but your brand has to take a stand for something. Because if we take a stand for nothing, we literally, or everything, we stand for nothing. So there's a lot of, and I don't just mean political, I don't just mean religion, right? I don't mean spiritual beliefs. I mean, literally, what do you believe in? So for instance, give you another example. I believe so deeply to never have put my daughter in daycare and to live a life of my core values, which is freedom, family, and travel, that I will not compromise those values. So when you're looking at and looking for that person that you can work with or that you can support, you have to know where your line, where you draw the line, right? Where you draw the line in the sand and says, no, your values are not aligned with me, which is why we just recently had to drop most of our clients, because we realized all we were doing is offering and selling a service. We weren't aligning our values with the clients we were saying yes to. We didn't believe necessarily in everything they were doing. So what happens? Then you get a company, you can be an awesome service provider, and there's billions of companies out there. In fact, my own position, this is a stand that I have, is corporatization, right? Corporate is trying to take over and crush the entrepreneur. That's the stand that I take. I stand for freedom, right? I stand for freedom of speech. I stand for, freedom of economy. So when we actually get this stuff, guys, that's when our brand becomes so undeniably attractive. And we then are aligned with our message, that then our clients are fully aligned with us, right? So we want to ask ourselves, like, what is our values? And who is that one person, right? That one person that I can support and help. And then we craft a core message around what that person is, what you do. Hey, Michael, I'm glad it's your birthday coming up, but please stop filling the feed with your statement, or I'm going to have to kick you out, buddy. Because now you're just, being overly aggressive. Happy birthday. So what we want to look at is now, how aligned are we with now the client then knows exactly who we are aligned with, because they feel it, right? You're not only living it, but now you're feeling it. They're feeling it. So if we get that part straight, and you take your tagline and say, what do I do? And what's that desired outcome? Now they get it. Because one thing to remember, if you cause someone to use too much mental bandwidth, a client or customer to use too much mental bandwidth, this is a very big one, especially for those that are in a bit more of an esoteric space, or a spirituality space, or frequency alignment space, universal energy, right? If you are causing too much mental bandwidth for your customer, your client, your followers to know, mental bandwidth means, what is it that they do? What is it that they do? If they have to do that, they're gone. You've completely lost them. If they are using too much mental bandwidth to figure out how you can solve their problem. Do you get that? This is probably one of the biggest keys to most messages, brands, and why people are just not saying yes. You might get the value alignment thing, you might be living it, but if you are causing them too much mental bandwidth to go, how can they even support me? Then you're losing your people, which is why we utilize, when we're building taglines, what I do, what's the desired outcome of the person I can serve the most in the most beautiful way. I create sexy brands and turn them into profit-making machines with PR and media. Boom. People know Rhonda's branding agency creates a sexy brand and turns it into a profit-making machine with PR and media. We're a PR and media firm. My book, Women Gone Wild, it's the Feminine Guide to Fearless Living. It's a book, a short stories of women that are changing the world and living a free life. Like, you have to be specific, okay? All right, so now next is the who. And this is a real big one, because if you remember when Simon Sinek talked about starting with why, right? This is what we're talking about, right? The whole why behind what we do. And when we look at the who, and I said this earlier, I said it's strategic selecting. Now, this is something that most don't really always talk about. So, like, I want to support and serve everyone. It's strategic selection, not only of your clients, where you get to strategically select because you are living your values, you know what you do, you know who that one person is that you can serve, and that you can not only solve problems for them, but that you can literally make a difference in their life. You have to be strategically selective. And that means saying no. Most don't like to hear this, and most, I don't know if coaches, or I wouldn't consider myself a coach. I'm literally a strategist that says, do this. Coaches say, you can do this. You got this. It kind of open up ideas and windows. I don't do that anymore. I've moved myself into a direct strategy. Like, this is what you have to do to get to this result. And there's no questions asked. Like, it is my way or the highway, right? And again, if that's not a bad thing, you have to remember, because I know who I am, I know the value we offer, I know the client, I've strategically selected the client that I know I can serve and support. You know what happens? They become customers and clients for life, because they are checking the boxes of the values that you say that you offer and that you have. Does that make sense? They can become clients for life. Now, granted, there are going to be some times where you're going to screw up. I have screwed up a lot. In fact, this year has been one of the most challenging years for us as a PR firm, because we're dealing with third-party people, right? We're dealing with other companies that are controlling what our outcomes are when it comes to high-level tier 1 and tier 2 media like PR and branding, right? So you have to know, the moment you actually start saying no and only saying yes to the right ones, in the beginning, you might go, I'm losing money. We're not making enough money in our brand or in our company. But you actually are. You're gaining the right client. They're so easy to deal with. They're not challenging. Like, we've got clients that pay us upwards of $50,000, $100,000 a year. And they're the easiest clients to deal with. Even if I screw up, they say, we got it. We know who you are. We know you're going to get it done, whether there's delays or this, because there's been a lot of that lately. They get it, because they're like, I know she's going to get it done. So if you then start looking at how you can build your value of your brand, now this is it, Anne Marie, you level up. You are leveling up your game. You're going from good to great. You're going from 2x to 10x with a quantum leap, because the people that are coming forward are willing to pay your prices, which is why I just made a post the other day and I said, I've never done a Black Friday sale. Actually, no, I have done it. I stopped doing it many, many years ago. You know why? Because I value what we do. I'm not up for a discount, and neither are you, right? We shouldn't be discounting our services. We shouldn't be discounting our value. I had some people that literally came to me, and this is their own stuff that came out, is they literally came and said, hey, well, your prices are so much higher. I mean, my goodness, who's going to pay that? Or why would someone pay that to go to an event, or, to be part of this, or pay for that? I went, it's okay. You don't have to pay my prices. If there's someone cheaper than me and you're looking for that, then you go there. But if you're looking for, let's go back to our values, integrity, family, freedom, trust, honorability, then this is what you got. White hand treatment, white glove treatment. Our company's known. We over touch people. We over support. I've got a team that just supports my authors fully, anything that they need, right? I've got a team that fully supports all my PR clients, and it's not me. See, there's a difference when we go from 2x to 10x. It means you as the founder, you're out in front. You're the value aligner. You're the one developing the company. You're not the one doing the work. So your prices might be higher. Your value and your touch is also higher. You get that? This is the time. And people are willing. They're willing to invest in someone that is so fully aligned with them, that will give them everything that they need, support. They'll give them mentorship. They'll give them so many different things that not just the service can provide, the values they're looking for, the feels they get when they speak to them. I know when I talk to my clients, I like to talk about crazy stuff like, you should be on CNN, you should be in New York Times, let's put you on a billboard. Because I do things so big a lot of times for our clients that they're like, I can't do that. But you know what? They feel it. They know I believe in them. They know they can get there. So stay around or create that platform, that environment for your clients to go, I don't even know if I can do this yet, but they believe in me. And I just get that little extra bit of energy and frequency. Boom. I do more. I do more. That's why we do mentorship. That's why we invest in the people that are doing the things that we want to do, have the things that we want to have. So, this is like, as you can tell, I get so excited about this topic because this alone right now, that just building and just looking at right now your brand, who are you aligned with? What are your values? Are you confusing or having your clients use too much mental bandwidth? Or are you specific in what you can do and who you can help? Are you focusing on the who, not the how? You should already have the how. You have a company, you have a service. Put the people in place that can do the how and the what. I don't do the how and the what anymore. I only focus on the who. Who can I serve? Who can I support at my highest level? White glove treatment, right? All of our VIP clients, they get me. They get me, right? They have a team, but if they need me, they got me. This is the value, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this landed for you today, especially those of you here. Camille Robb, amazing author in our book series. Thank you, Michael, again. Happy birthday, my friend. And, Anne-Marie, babe, I've watched you. This woman lives her values. She lives who she is, right? And she lives for what she believes in. It's time to really start focusing on those that believe in you and your values. That's a great one. It's true, Michael, and there's nothing against it, right? And Black Friday, I want to make sure that I'm not insulting anyone because people love to get offended. I don't really care what your, thoughts are because this is my stand. Remember I said, make sure your brand is a stand, or if you stand for nothing, everything, you stand for nothing. I just don't devalue myself and my team. My team, the people that give so much energy and love to my clients, I don't want them to be treated that way, right? I don't want to devalue their work. So add more value. Don't cheapen your prices. Add more value. Let them know why your prices need to stay what they are, because I'm actually going to give you a little bit more than take it away. So guys, I hope this really helped solidify, how to build your brand with authenticity, with credibility, and to truly believe in yourself. I'm such a strong believer in the right ones will hear the right message as long as I am aligned with my message. I'm living it. I'm not selling it. Let me know. I want to make sure if there's any questions or comments. Thanks so much for the comments today, everyone. Those of you that are watching this recording, thanks for being here. Let me know how we can support you, right? Because we are ready to take on those clients that understand the value of brand alignment and telling the story that the world deserves to hear. That's what we do really well in PR and media. We tell the stories, we get them published into big publications, right? And allow for third-party validation, others to tell your story and to help you get more visibility than just you doing it. That's the difference, right? When we're 2Xing, we're doing the message constantly. It's us, it's us, it's us. But when we're living the message and others are talking about it, then it's getting and branching out to so many different places. And that's why we utilize PR, especially and along with ads, to expand our message, but also so that when people are searching for us, we have a credibility stamp. Our values are aligned, the stories are aligned. I just really love you guys. I think you're amazing. Thank you for watching. This is our weekly mastermind. We'll be here again next week. I have a very special guest. It's usually one of our authors. We got some beautiful people that are sharing the love. We also actually have if you're not part of it yet, we have a private group. It's called wildtribe.live. Just search it up. You'll get inside. It's free. That's where we remind everyone about these masterminds every week. But the guests we've got, I give a lot of my products away. I've got my Sexy Brand Building Formula course that is ran through thousands of people, supported them in this very strategic step and method on how to build their brand. I give that away free. And because again, the more people that I can serve, someone might need my help, right? You might be going, oh, yep, Today's the day. I need to reach out to Rhonda because Rhonda does one thing and she does one thing well. We create sexy brands and we turn them into profit-making machines with PR and media. No mental bandwidth. You guys know that's why you get chosen for more talks. You get chosen for more, stages, to be on podcasts, to be on shows with people. You get chosen. I've got so many unbelievable clients, especially some of our authors that are rocking it. And everyone's like, why is it working for them? It's not working for them. They're living their brand. They're living what they do. They're living every day what they do, how they do it. All right, everyone. I want to have you, join us inside the tribe. And just also remember, certainly, anytime if you want to reach out or work with the Unstoppable Branding Agency, you can, our website's here. You can fill out an application. One of our brand strategists, sometimes it's my husband, Brian, sometimes it's myself, will speak with you on what your values are for your brand. What is your objective? And then if it aligns with us, we can say yes. And if we align with you, you then can also say yes. See the power in that? It's so beautiful to be able to be in that much beautiful space and power to say, no, you don't align, or yes, you do. That's how we create a brand that is resilient, that is long lasting, and that people are craving. All right, everyone, have a great evening. Thank you for being here. And we are taking new authors for our upcoming Women Gone Wild book series. The Intuition book launches in June, and the next book launches next year in its leadership. And we have so much fun. If you're a woman that wants to share her story, then we want to see you there. Cheers, everyone. Be unstoppable and stay wild. And don't forget to be great.